And a view of the skyscrapers of Midtown Manhattan from high above the East River here in New York City. The NBA on 2K Sports. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Kevin D.A. Fantastic as always, David. Thank you. Shea certainly had his ups and downs, Greg, along the way.
Well, ultimately, having to fight for a spot in this league may make him a better player. He's already been tested and come out on top.
So let's take a look at the Boston Celtics starting lineup. Brown and Hayward, they're the wing.
In order to stay in the NBA, Kevin, no, I could not do that.
Right, yeah.
I could not do that.
You played 14
I know.
years.
I loved coming into training camp being in tip-top shape. It really was something I took a lot of pride in, is that I wanted to be going so that our practices for our coaching staff was something we could get through. Now, I understood the role of other guys on the team where it might take a little while for them to get going, but for my mindset and my confidence in the year, I wanted to make sure that the offseason and the work that I was putting in, because that's where players improve the most, I was going to come into camp ready to go.
And the layup falls.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Smith outside. Can they get it? New York, no good that time either. Celtics leading by 16. Here's Brown. Great D that time from Porter.
He gets a lot of points here at the rim, but the defense
Can't help but pick their defense. And you see the edge Barrett plays with, attacking the rim with bad intentions.
Puts it up from 12. Count that one.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
112 left to play here in the first. And then Smith with the dunk.
all about the burst there. Dennis Smith Jr. creating the separation.
The kick out to Brown. Puts up a three. Knicks with the rebound.
He's not very hard to defend right now. This is when the defense might step back and let him try to find his range.
And a nice job here early of establishing an inside presence.
Boston's gone 1 of 5 from downtown in the first quarter. Points out there have been hard to come by. 35 seconds left here in the first quarter. The kick out to Tatum. It's Brown on the wing. 6 to shoot. Fires the three. The shot is good. It's his second bucket in 5 tries.
Displaying intensity right off the opening tip, especially on the offensive end.
Yeah, if you walked in at any point during this game to watch 5 minutes of play, one team played harder. We know who that was.
Now, here's Barrett. D right on him. Over Smart. And the defense really pressing up on him. Made that a tough shot. And so it's Boston, riding a 15-point lead at the end of the quarter. And their ability to get points in the paint has made all the difference in this one. Back right after this. Now, Bobby Portis, who's known for his work ethic, said he learned a lot from his mother.
She gets up at 3, 4 in the morning and gets off at 1, 2 in the evening. You know, she works hard for her 4 boys. You know, she breaks herself off daily. You know, I always try to pride myself in hard work also because how hard she worked for me.
And she was a basketball player in her own right, Greg, a scholarship at Jackson State University.
Yeah, and gave up basketball when she had Bobby, but she encouraged him to pursue his dream, and she said now she's living her dream through him.
And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. And a very convincing performance from the Celtics so far.
Well, they've been aggressive from the beginning, particularly on the offensive end.
Well, if they wanted to start well, this would be it. They seized momentum right away, and they just didn't let it go in that quarter.
On the floor for Boston, they've got Enes Kanter. Williams is out there with Green. Then there's Smart, and let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, last season we thought the Knicks' cornerstone player was Kristaps Porzingis, but the player and the team fell out of love with each other, and the Knicks traded him to Dallas. The draft picks and cap space freed them up for a wild summer, led by the drafting of rookie R.J. Barrett in the draft. Now New York has one of the more drastically revamped rosters in the league. Kevin, there's a lot to be excited about going forward in the Big Apple.
Big moves indeed, David. Thank you. Now, here's Ellington. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. Bullock passes to Robinson. And the dunk by Smith.
Dennis Smith Jr. getting up on the rim is a highlight everybody here loves to see.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
I think Mitchell Robinson is one of those guys. We saw it last year. He might get 4 or 5 blocks a game. So many players tempted to shoot outside shots because Mitchell would play off of them, and then quickly he would get to them and deflect the shot. So incredible quick twitch fibers and quick to the ball to make an impact defensively.
So for the Knicks, Ando comes in for Bobby Portis, and Frank Ntilikina's subbed in